All right, week 3, some needed change, and I will talk about this week, which wasn't very much training, as well as the meet feels, which I'll just put a timestamp on the comment section below in case you want to skip to one or the other. But basically, I trained 3 days this week. I didn't have a ton of extra time, and one of the things that I really want to focus on now that I have the competition under my belt and in the past, I just want to kind of do my own thing for a little bit. And what I mean by that is just kind of experiment, play around with some stuff that I haven't really had time to. And the big reason I've wanted to do that is because it seems like I've always just been in some sort of prep or always concerned with maybe my strength dropping. And I'm really kind of hesitant to expand into some other things like these high bar squats that you see now because I don't want to get too far from my competition movement. You're going to see some other things thrown in, like some playing around with sumo deadlift, which is more of a modified version for me, particularly based off my mobility and just the fact that this is what feels the best for me right now. And I just want to take some time without having a set plan in place necessarily. Now, I know that's not the best way to go about things because obviously to get the best progress out and make the most gains overall, I'm going to have some sort of plan and programming in place. And I will eventually do that, but I think I really just need the mental break and the physical break from getting into too much trouble that I did in the past with just like, again, kind of stereotyping and pigeonholing myself into a certain way of training, a certain mindset. And I really have been looking forward to training this week, number one, because again, I haven't really been able to do that much of it. But also number two, things are just different. So it's been interesting to kind of play around with things, like in this case, breaking out the deadlift bar, which is definitely harder for me to lock out. And not only in my shoulders, but I just feel like there's a little bit more rebound at top because of the whip. And that's not even with that much weight. I mean, this is like 375 pounds. But this felt pretty good overall. I'm really trying to take my time in order to get set and kind of pull some of the slack out of the bar some. And so much so, in fact, that I also just wanted to play around with the bands as well. So I added these 2 green bands. I think both of them are rated at like 65 pounds a piece. I'm not really sure what this weight is at the top, nor do I really care. But this just felt good overall. And again, in time, I hope to kind of work on some of these sumo aspects because I really want to be able to rotate my hips out more. I'd like to be able to get a little bit wider of a stance, obviously play around with grip as well. But that's what's really kind of driving me right now is the ability to mess around with some stuff that I really haven't given myself an opportunity to do so. Now, the next day, did some bench. I literally only did a couple of working sets. I forgot that I told my buddy I'd go out and meet up with him for some drinks and some food. So he called me like right in the middle of my training, was like, hey, are you going to be ready to meet up in like 10 minutes? And I was like, oh shit, I have to go shower and do that. So I just got some paused bench work in, nothing too heavy here. Again, trying to ease myself back into it. And so much so, in fact, that I actually ended up doing a little bit of chest work the following day as well, which was the last real training day of this week. I wanted to break out this box squat box that I got before, and this is a new concept for me, really trying to sit back into this. And as part of that, what I found is the last couple of inches, right as I get into the hole, I kind of speed things up. So I really need to work on slowing things down. And I'm really trying to focus on keeping my knees out here. And these felt good also. I really felt them in my hamstrings and my glutes, which I don't normally do with my squats. And here you see a side view here as well, really trying to make sure my bar path, which for low bar typically tips forward quite a bit. Just want to make sure that it stays forward overall. So nothing heavy again, but it's just interesting to break things out and play around with things I haven't had the opportunity to do so. That being said, if you guys follow me on social media, you'll know that I also recently picked up a shoulder rock. I'm just starting to break it out now, so obviously I'm not going to be able to do full swings in my basement, if that's okay, because even just doing these swings on the back and trying to loosen up my shoulders in between sets, it really helps a lot. It doesn't look pretty, but I'll get there. But I'm really looking forward to using this because my shoulder mobility sucks, and it should be a fun tool to use going forward. And also another tool I haven't really used in a long time are these Iron Master adjustable dumbbells. So here you have 70 pounds, which they're great. And I'll probably do a review on these in the future as well, but I want to do some incline presses because I haven't done these in God knows how long. So that was my week. Hopefully you guys had a good one, and I'll talk to you with the meet recap right about now. All right, so here's a meet recap. You guys asked for it. I wasn't planning on doing it, but figured what the hell, why not? It'll be quick and easy. I'm just going to kind of ramble through this. So as far as the meet goes overall, I am satisfied with it. It went a lot better than I kind of thought it would, and I kind of have the tendency to talk myself down and kind of be real negative a lot of times, and you guys should know that by now by watching me. But overall, I'm really happy with the fact that things didn't go as planned, and I still hit well over 1,500 pounds, where as a year ago, it was kind of my goal, I think, to hit 1,500 pounds in a meet. So the fact that I can have an off meet, so to say, and still exceed my expectations of last year, I think is pretty good overall. That being said, though, the plan going in was to kind of take the same openers and around the same second attempts as my last meet. But for the third attempt, I was just going to go for a 2.5 kg or about 5-pound PR on each lift, no matter if I felt it was there or not. So even if my seconds moved really slow, I was still going to go for that third attempt at trying to push the number some. And that's just my mindset going in. That being said, though, however, things felt really good this day for the most part. This second squat attempt here went really well. And in fact, the squats in general felt really good this day, especially on the walkouts. Typically for me, the walkouts really set the tone of how the lift's gonna go. And a lot of times on the heavier attempts, I feel like it's quite a struggle. I feel like I'm off balance. But even on the third attempt here with 606, I felt really strong. And I had a strong sense of I was going to get this lift. I thought it would be tough for sure, but I was kind of confident that I would get it after how the second moved, and it just wasn't there. I went down the hole, my knee buckled just a little bit, and the bar felt like it jumped up my back some, which pushed me forward, which just kind of ended my day, if you will. And I think on this meet and in most meets, I had the tendency to look down even more so than normal, which I think can be bad because if I start to get stuck, I start to come forward and then I just kind of lose the power out of my legs. I think a big part of that is I just don't want to be looking at somebody while I'm squatting. So I definitely need to kind of take a look at that in my training and in my future meets and make sure I adjust on that. For the bench, it felt good. I mean, to open up with 314, which was my third attempt at a couple of meets, probably about 12 to 18 months ago. It felt pretty good. It moved pretty good. The second attempt, I want to say, moved really well as well, even though we didn't get footage of it. So much so, in fact, again, that I felt pretty confident that I would be able to get this third lift. I thought out of the whole day that I had a chance at squats, I had a chance at bench. I didn't think I had a chance at deadlifts, which I definitely didn't based off how things moved. But based off how the second moved for squat and bench, like I said, I thought I'd get it. And I got stuck here. And I really thought I'd push through it. I was confident it would be slow, and then it just didn't happen. So again, that's okay, as it was a PR. Hit it a couple times in training, also failed it a couple times in training. So again, it was kind of just a crapshoot. Moving on to deadlift, this is the lift that always takes so much out of me. First attempt, I thought moved pretty good. Second attempt moved okay. I actually thought the bar was misloaded based off how it moved. Third attempt, I knew it wasn't there, but like I said, I was gonna go for it anyways, and I just got way too far forward and it just wasn't happening. Some other quick notes about the meet. A lot of you guys said it was quiet. It definitely was. It's a small local meet, only had about 40 lifters. They initially were gonna have 2 separate sessions. I was gonna lift in the afternoon. They moved me up to the morning based off of that. At a very small flight, about 8 people, so quick attempts. They were playing some music, it just wasn't very loud, and plus it's a good thing when you're filming because I don't want to get flagged for it. I never let that really bother me anyways, because with the baby I can't train that loud anyways. I also got drug tested this particular meet, so that should be interesting. I'm assuming I won't hear anything because I haven't taken any drugs, at least that I know about. But it was just an interesting process to do that, and maybe I'll talk about that more in a future video if you guys really want to hear how I detailed peeing in a cup in front of some dude and all that good stuff. So overall, happy with the meet. Happy to get back to training and doing some more of this weird stuff I've been doing. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.